Here is an ACT binder. You can use this binder with different skills and you can just edit the template. However, along on the side, there's 7 different topics. If you need to edit or add additional topics, you can go in to do that by going into Slide, Edit Theme. So where it says Edit Theme, this is where you can click. You can come to page number 1. Well, it says Theme up here. And then you can highlight Rename as needed. So again, you can come in, you can recolor these tabs, you can rename it, whatever you need. If you need to add more tabs, you can use this little, I call it the rubber band, where you grab them all. And then you can just make them a little bit smaller, add some more tabs down here, change the colors as needed. And so once you have your tabs all set, over here is where they hyperlink. So if I click on this, it will take me to there. You'll notice that these are not hyperlinked. So if you want to hyperlink the other tabs, just again, rubber band it like that, copy, and then just paste it on all of the tabs. I don't want to do them to all of them yet, just in case you need to make any updates or add any pages into the binder. So what I was thinking is right here, you could type the topic, or you could have your students use Kami and they can type it over here. There's a pre-test, post-test. They're going to add screenshots, create an example question, and then down here is where we can customize their learning strategies roadmap. And so once they look at that pre-test score, they can determine, am I struggling? Do I need some help? Or do I've got this? And then this page number 3 is for notes. So as they're learning that topic, they can add notes here. Again, you can add additional pages if you want to this binder to support your students. However, you want all of the pages laid out before you assign the notebook to your students. Your students can add pages at the bottom of the notebook. However, they can't add in between slide 2 and 3 if they needed additional notes or an additional slide. So just keep that in mind. Once you have your binder all set, you're ready to assign this to your students. And so depending on your learning management system is how you're going to assign it. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to go over and I'm going to copy this into my demo account. And so right here is my class, and I'm actually going to today assign this through Schoology. So I am going to open up my Schoology class and click on my name and log into my class. Once I log into my class, I can then create an assignment in this class. So again, I want to have my template kind of created first and ready to go for my students. Once you have that, you can go into your course and go right into your class. Once you're in your class, you can then go to add materials. You're going to click on the Kami on this side. So on the right-hand side, you're going to want to click on Kami, not creating an add material. The reason for this is so that you have the ability to see class view and so that you can go in to update that template file if you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And once I'm all logged in, I am ready to create this notebook for my students. I'm going to choose my Google Drive just because that is where it's at. And then I click on my Google Drive and I'm able to go into my most recents, and there's my binder. I'm going to hit select. Once I hit select, I'm going to leave everything turned on just because it's a binder. My students are going to need all of the different features built right in. And so once I create this Kami assignment, my students are going to log in. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into their Schoology course, just so it's ready by the time this updates. The more pages you have, the longer it might take to load. So just kind of keep that in mind. From here, you can update the title, you can update the points, who this is being assigned to. So however you want to customize that, this is your chance to do so. I'm going to go ahead and save changes, and this is going to add right here to my class. Once it gets added, my students can go into their course, and they are going to go to that assignment. And once they go to their binder, they are going to be able to add screenshots of their learning, share ideas and reflections on their next steps. So again, kind of decide how you want that to look before you push this out to your students. So you're able to customize that binder before your students see it. And so once my students have this loaded onto their screen, this button up here will allow them to see their notebook in full screen. Because we made this in Google Slides, these tabs are clickable. So as I click, I can click here. Another great tip for your students is if they go to this little eyeball, they can actually turn on two-page view. I'm going to show cover page because when they turn on two-page view, they can see topic 1 on this side and topic 2 on this, or the notes on this side. So again, this might be a really great view for your students to see. It's that little eyeball, they click view, two-page view. I show the cover page, so that stays up here. But right here is where they're able to come in. They can type their pretest score. So maybe I got a 30%, and then they can come in and they can insert their screenshot of their test. I'm just going to insert this example right here. They can come in here and use the text box to create a question. They can then maybe even use the markup tool to highlight their correct answer. You could even have the passage over here on the side for them that they have to use to create that question. Over here, after the students kind of observe and see their pretest score and look over their results, they can then come up with a plan. So maybe if they're struggling, I can say, okay, I'm going to watch the instructional video, and then I'm going to complete the practice. I'm going to try the mastery check, and I'm going to check in with the teacher. So as students are kind of looking over my score, they're going to create this roadmap, right? They maybe say, okay, I got a 30%, I'm really struggling, right? And so then maybe mid-check, they can say, okay, where am I at now? Now that I've taken that mastery check, do I got this? Am I ready for that summative assessment? Or am I still kind of struggling and maybe I just need some help? And so again, students can kind of create their activity plan for what they plan to work on as they're working on this activity. Then once they finish and they complete that summative assessment, they can come over here and write their new score. And again, they're going to be able to see, how did I do before and that post score? Students can then use voice or video to explain or record their thoughts and their reflections as well. Over here, your students can take notes. So the student can take notes. But another thing that you can do is, let's go to that teacher screen, is I can click on that assignment right here. As your students open up their binder, they're going to be added to this list. So they have to open up the binder in order to be added onto this assignment. And so if you have self-paced students working at different places, you could say, don't open this until you need to, so that way it's easier for you to kind of sort, but you're also able to use filters to sort as well. I'm going to just open up one more student just really quickly, so that way we have two students who have opened up this notebook. And so while that student is opening up, just a couple things here. I can see student Stephanie on my screen, and I can see how she's doing. I can use the stickers tool under Add Media and give her maybe a sticker, and that student gets that feedback immediately on their screen. So as you're reviewing their work, you can kind of say like, yes, love this, right? Like, love that idea, love what you're doing here. And your students will be able to see that feedback automatically. Okay, I can give feedback using the comment features and use my voice to explain my thoughts on how they're doing on their ACT question based on this, right? If I see notes, I can add notes, and it's just going to go to this one student right here because I'm in that class view. However, maybe I have students that all need the passage to create for this activity. So what I can do is I can come in to this green button up here. Again, if you want to see it larger, you can click on this little button right here. But this green little toggle will take you into the template file. And with this template file, you can come down to that page. So right here where it says notes. And on that page, I can add in notes for my students. So maybe I see that they're really struggling, or I look at their learning plan, and a lot of students have the same plan. Again, this is going out to all of my students. that have the notebook assigned to them. So I can come in, maybe add media. I could add this activity right here. I want them to practice this reading activity. Maybe I want to go to add media and insert like a YouTube video or Google image search. Let's go ahead and add a video. I can search for that video on here. So I'm just going to do ACT vocabulary words. So I'm like, oh yeah, my students are definitely going to need this video here. So I copy this link and then I paste it right there. What's great about this is it's going to get rid of those ads, and it's also going to get rid of the distractions over on the side. So let me go ahead and post that video right there. And once I am ready, I can hit update all, update. This resource is going to go out to my students' notebooks. So right here is now those notes that I pushed out. Now this student is student Stephanie. You'll notice that student Olivia also opened up her notebook. So if we refresh our screen, we should be able to see side by side student Stephanie and student Olivia now having that same notebook. Right here, student Stephanie, who's been working really hard on her activities, where student Olivia hasn't even started yet, right? And so again, I can use this to quickly compare, see what activities my students are choosing to create that ownership as well. And then again, if I use that green button to update that work, it is going to push out those changes to my students. And so if I come in here and I just say, okay, I want you to write notes over here, and then I click on that update all, and I click update, and then I go back in to my class view, my students are all going to have those same updates. So again, if you want to push things out as they're learning them, you can either use class view and that will individually do it. But if you want your whole class to have a resource at the same time, or you're realizing, oh, they really could use this video and I found it later, you could push out those changes to the students then. So again, class view can be a great way to help you with these notebooks as you're working through. And again, the notebook is completely customized to what you need if you need to add more pages or resources for your students. But then once you open it up in class view, you can see side by side your students' learning strategies roadmap. You can see their ACT questions, their screenshot of Crack AB. You can see the pre and post test scores, and they can see it over time as they're working on different scores as well. So I hope this activity can be really helpful for you to help your students gain some excitement and be able to track their learning during their ACT practice.